Hey guys, welcome to another review, and yes, Christmas is almost upon us, and I wanted to think of a very good, well, technically very bad Christmas movie to talk about, because Christmas is approaching us. There's a couple more movies I want to talk about, this one in particular, Christmas with the Kranks. Wow, this is a bad one, folks.
What?
Based on the best-selling novel Skipping Christmas.
We have only 12 hours, so we're gonna perform a little Christmas miracle. I'm getting the ham. You get the tree.
Tim Allen.
Your face. It's like it's frozen.
I got a Botox injection today.
Luther.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. Christmas with the Kranks.
What are you doing, Luther? Whoa! Easy! Whoa!
So yeah, Christmas with the Kranks stars Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Dan Aykroyd. And this movie is based off a novel written by John Grisham. Yes, one of the most famous crime authors out there. He wrote a family novel called Skipping Christmas, which I've never read or even much heard of. Just know this movie, though. This movie is written by Chris Columbus and directed by Joe Roth, the guy who gave us Revenge of the Nerds 2. So, yeah. Story of this movie is about a married couple named Nora and Luther, and they're the Kranks. And their daughter is off to join the Peace Corps. She left home, and now for the Christmas holidays, they're left alone. They don't have their daughter, so they don't want to celebrate Christmas. They don't want to celebrate Christmas anymore because Christmas is not the same without their daughter. So basically, Luther, played by Tim Allen, has an idea to skip Christmas altogether. He thinks they can save a lot of money, and he skips Christmas. No decorations, no lights, no Christmas tree, no Christmas gifts, no Christmas parties. Skipping Christmas altogether, and them two can go on a cruise. They can go on a cruise together and have a good time. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. The two characters are very unlikable, by the way. Everyone in this movie is unlikable, but there's nothing wrong with skipping Christmas. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. It's up to you. But the whole movie, the plot of the movie, this is the plot, them skipping Christmas, and their town just takes offense to that. They're like, what? No Christmas? And basically, Dan Aykroyd, who's like their neighbor, and Emmett Walsh is in it too, and they're all like chastising these two married couples about them skipping Christmas. They're demanding they put lights up, and they're Frosty the Snowman, and they just like harass them until they celebrate Christmas. I'm like, why? Who fucking cares? They don't celebrate Christmas this year. So? That's none of anyone's business. But like this whole town, it even makes like the front page of the newspaper. Like, how stupid is this town? Like, they literally jeopardize all their Christmases just so they can butt into this married couple's life. It is so dumb. It's ridiculous. If this was a horror film, it would make a lot more sense. I think it would be a better movie. Imagine a horror movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen, and the whole town goes nuts because they skip Christmas and they like try to kill them and stuff. I'm not even joking. That actually sounds like a pretty good dark comedy and horror film. That might have worked, but no. We're stuck with all these idiot characters and these stupid, wacky shenanigans. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. It is the dumbest plot ever. It was up there, but it is so stupid. It is one of the stupidest stories ever. Who fucking cares these people are skipping Christmas? Who gives a shit? And the comedy is bad. Like, this is like the first joke in the movie.
Really think you need an umbrella?
You know why I don't want one of your stupid umbrellas? Because
So yeah, it's one of the many knee slappers of the movie. And yeah, so the movie starts off with the two of them. They drop their daughter off. They're like, oh, we can't celebrate Christmas. And then he goes to the grocery store to get chocolates and stuff. And he gets splashed and doesn't take an umbrella and stuff. And okay. And then he comes up with the idea to skip Christmas. And the wife's like, why would we do that? Then he actually gives a pretty good explanation. And yeah. But then she asks him, like, can we still donate to charity? And he's like, no, this is an absolute boycott. I'm like, okay. This It's kind of an asshole move. Like why can't he donate to charity? Like, okay, that's not even about Christmas. It's just giving back to the community. But he's like, no. Then she's like, well, then I'm not doing it. And he's like, fine, I'll do it. Then she's like, hey, let's have sex on the bed. It's like, okay, what? And yeah, then he like prints out this thing for his entire work. They're saying like, I'm skipping Christmas. And like, I don't know why he writes this. That's none of his work's business. But he writes this big memo about how he's skipping Christmas and how I'm not angry and I am not like pissed off. Then he like hands it to everyone like he's angry and pissed off. So I'm like, okay. But he like tells everyone he's skipping Christmas. And I'm like, why are you printing this memo for your work? Who gives a shit? That's none of anyone's business if you're skipping Christmas. Like, I don't even know. Like, this whole movie is just people butting into people's lives. Like, who cares? But then, like, the Jamie Lee Curtis says, like, oh, I'm not having a Christmas party. They're like, and her friends are like, what? Like, it's stupid. And then you meet Dan Aykroyd and his son, who's the kid from Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. But Dan Aykroyd's like the head of the neighborhood watch. It's like, he's skipping Christmas. Not on my watch. And then he just like tries to like butt into their lives and try to convince the whole neighborhood to torture these two until they celebrate Christmas. Like put up Christmas lights, put up the Frosty the Snowman, because the whole neighborhood puts up these Frosty the Snowmans, and he's like, put up the, and they like scream in front of their house like, free Frosty, free Frosty. I'm like, do these people have no lives? Do they not have jobs? Like all day they just scream outside their house and saying free Frosty. And I'm like, what? Like these people have no fucking lives. And Dan Aykroyd is like the villain of the movie. Like I say he is. And then there's like Emmett Walsh who lives across from Luther. And he's like this jackass old guy who just keeps calling Tim Allen old man and like, oh, I haven't got promoted yet, you people. You're an asshole. Like, There's like nobody who's likable in this movie. Even Tim Allen, like he's constantly like bad-mouthing people. He steps on the neighbor's cat. I'm like, hey, it's a cat. The only person I guess who's somewhat likable is Jamie Lee Curtis. She's probably the only like decent human being in this movie. But so yeah. Then there's a really weird scene where like these carolers start singing in front of their house, and then like Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis are just like, it's just like, what's happening? Like this is supposed to be funny, like this is supposed to be comical, and they're just like when they hear Christmas music, that like scares them. Like, what?
Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle.
And after that hilarious scene, they go like tanning, and it's another just really weird scene where like Jamie Lee Curtis is tanning, and then like this creepy weirdo is like looking at her. He's like, oh my god! And like she hits her head, then she gets like a band-aid, and then her priest sees her at the tanning salon. And he's like looking at her tits, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? Is this a family movie or a pervert movie? Then all of a sudden, like everybody in the mall just starts looking at Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, who are in their like bathing suits getting a tan. And it's weird. Everyone in the mall is just looking at them like they're freaks. And I'm like, has anyone not gone tanning before? Like I wouldn't go fake tanning, but I'm like, why is everyone looking at them like they're nuts? And then it ends up on the front page of the paper that they're skipping Christmas. I'm like, the realism in this movie is just baffling. It's just incredible. And yeah, basically it's just the whole movie is just them like, oh, fuck these people, skipping here. And then it also leads to probably the dumbest slapstick joke in the whole movie. It is ridiculous how stupid this joke is. Just watch.
Give us Frosty! Please, indulge me first!
There's a lot of reasons why that is not funny. Like, for one thing, I don't know why he like chased that Jan like chased her and like he's like, give us the snowman, like a psychopath. And then like his fingers get rolled up and then he falls, and I'm like, how is his gloves standing up like that? Like they would flop back down. Like science people. But then Jamie Lee Curtis looks at them and starts screaming like, ah, like it's like she cut his hands off or something. And it doesn't make sense. I'm like, there would be blood. The joke doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Like, it's supposed to be funny. And like, oh, get it? She cut his hands off. But she didn't cut his hands off, but she thinks he cut his hands off. Get it? I don't get it. It's not funny. But then later in the movie, the two main characters get a call from their daughter, and she says, "Hey, I'm getting married. I've been gone for a month, and I met a guy, and I'm just getting married now." They're like, "Okay." They don't even question it. They don't even say, "What's his name? What does he do? Who is he?" They just don't care. They're like, "Oh, okay." It's like, these are horrible parents. And then, that she's coming home for Christmas. So they have to prepare a dinner and, prepare the dinner for their daughter. And now they're not skipping Christmas anymore. They're going to celebrate now because their daughter's coming home. And I'm like, okay. And then Luther is pissed because he can't go on his trip because he's kind of a selfish asshole like that. And then they have to ask the neighborhood who has been torturing them this whole movie to celebrate Christmas. They're like, "Hey, our daughter's coming home. Want to help us out?" And they do. They help them out. They even get the police to help them out. I'm like, what? Apparently the police don't have anything better to do, solve crimes and stuff. No, they're like, "Oh, we'll help out." And then the community helps out, and it shows this message, butting into people's business. That's how you get your way. Just nag them to death, and then they'll listen. That's a horrible message. And then Jamie Lee Curtis goes to the alcohol store and meets this random guy, and then he's like, "Oh, hi," and yells all this information about her. It's really creepy. And then she's like, "Yeah, come to the Christmas party." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Who is this guy?" And then the cops pick the daughter up with the new husband, who, again, we know nothing about. And then while they're driving them home, they stop like a criminal, and then they arrest him, and they put him in the back seat with the daughter on the floor. I'm like, okay. And then the daughter comes home, and then these cops go into the party, and they just leave the criminal in the backseat of the car. Like, what? And then the neighbor kid talks to the criminal, and the kid's like, "I haven't ate in a week." And then the kid just lets him out like an idiot. I don't know. And then they have the party and everything and have a good old time. And then Tim Allen learns the meaning of Christmas and the meaning of community. And I don't even understand the meaning of Christmas and community by watching this movie. So Jamie Lee Curtis gives him the spiel about think about others, not yourself. And then he gives the cruise tickets to Emmett Walsh, the guy who lives across the street from him. He gives them the cruise tickets, even though he can't legally transfer those. Everyone knows that, but still, he gives it to them. The thought that counts. And he's like, "I'm giving it to the most thoughtless people." And I'm like, yes, the guy who's been bullying you and being an asshole to you the whole movie, he's a very thoughtful person. Fuck this movie. And then it ends with the criminal robbing the Crank house. Yes, every house in the neighborhood is empty. Is absolutely empty. But the criminal robs the house with all the people in it. Wow, what a stupid criminal. And then he gets knocked out by Santa Claus, and you find out that's the guy from the liquor store, and that's how he knows everyone in town because he sells umbrellas. I'm like, what a twist. And then the movie ends. They're like, "Whoa, skipping Christmas. That was a stupid idea." And she's like, "Maybe next year." He's like, "Oh, sequel maybe?" No. And then it ends very confusing. Just watch. So does anyone understand that? I don't understand that. The Frosty the Snowman comes alive, and then the umbrella guy is Santa Claus. Santa's in this movie. What? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what? All of a sudden it became like a fantasy movie. The end. What a dumb movie. Christmas with the Kranks is a horrible film. It is not funny. It has horrible, unlikable characters. It has a stupid plot, and it has a terrible message. It doesn't even know what it's saying about Christmas and family and community. It's literally just about people nagging and bugging people until they get what they want. That's literally what the movie's about. It's a horrible and disgusting message to tell people and family and friends. This is a horrible movie. It's one of the worst Christmas films out there, and I'm glad to review for you guys because I hate it that much, and I can't let you rip on another Christmas movie. So In the comment section below, please tell me what are your thoughts and opinions on Christmas with the Kranks. Do you think it's one of the worst? Do you actually enjoy it? Here's to know. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.